I think before our next speaker, because this woman is all about health. I think we need to get up. There's been some of us that have been here since 8 o'clock this morning. Can we get up and do a 2 or 3 minute stretch? Like, okay, look at, we love music. Think about it in your head. I don't know. I was listening to the music of Creed. So let's all get up. Don't put your cameras off. If you don't want to get up, don't get up. But for those that want to, let's get up. Let's do a little stretch. Let's do a little stretch. Let's do a little get into our body before Melissa tells us about our body. Dr. Melissa is coming up, and I get to talk to this woman every couple of weeks, and she's got it going on, and she's got like monster projects, and she's got big stuff with big dreams, and she's all going to give us the power to talk about the medical perseverance. So, okay, it's like, are we in our bodies? See, you can't wear sweatpants to this party because people are going to see it. People are going to see it. Okay, good. Oh, take a nice deep breath. Woo! Sister. Isn't there like Twisted Sister? Didn't we? Anyone else in the 80s or 90s here? Twisted Sister? All right. Okay, I'm getting punchy. I better have some nuts and raisins over here. Okay, I have the pleasure. Yay, I get to talk to this chick all the time. You know, it's cool. So Angel was talking about accountability partners, and her and Mel are accountability partners. Melissa doesn't make me exercise. That's why we're still accountability partners. No, but you know, those people that you just vibe and you're talking, and I want to really recommend this to people. There's something that me and her did that we just did by it just kind of kept going. And, you know, you meet people on a networking event, or you meet them at a dinner, you meet them at a party, you meet them at, I mean, sometimes you meet the coolest people at things like, you know, weddings that you didn't mean to go to, or all sorts of services, right? And you meet somebody and you're like, we need to talk. And then you talk once and that's cool. And then do this, go, hey, let's talk again in a few weeks and put it in your book. And you know what? There's purpose, and it'll come to an organic end if it needs to come to an organic end. And we met on a networking thing, and we just kind of been meeting every few weeks and just like, hey, what's going on with blah, blah, blah. And we've got this really cool virtual relationship. You know, it's gone from business-ship to friendship. And so start doing that, because you know, when you get to dig into people, you get to find out things about them that you didn't know before. Like the one thing I know about her is that she won a pancake race. Melissa won a pancake race. Okay. Dr. Melissa Balizan is an expert in helping you make the right choices. She's going to talk today about medical perseverance. And she has a couple of really cool gifts. One of them is the 5 questions to ask before you start taking medication or a supplement. When's the last time we sat down with a professional or a medical professional and say, oh, excuse me, I see you're writing me that prescription. I have a few questions for you. Well, let's see if they keep you in the office, but she's going to give that to you. And then she's got this beautiful package of this wellness gift set, peak performance self-care package, and a private consultation and health products based on your needs. It is worth over $250. And she is going to share with us today, favorite album, Faith Hill. Yeah, Angel's smiling because we got country people in the house. So she loves Breathe. Remember Breathe. Okay, Melissa, please take the stage, my good friend.
Thank you so much, Deb. I am honored to be here today with you ladies and to share a very important message. So we're going to talk about perseverance, medical perseverance to be specific. But what is perseverance? Perseverance is a continued effort to do or achieve something. You have persistence, determination, grit. Okay? I'm going to tell you a few stories today. Susan, she's a mom. She worked part-time outside the house, but her biggest responsibility and her greatest job and pleasure was taking care of her family. She cooked for them. She cleaned for them. She took them to sports, to school, to debate club. Jamie's an electrical engineer. She worked 40 hours a week, loved spending time outdoors. And then we have Samantha. Samantha is a CFO, Chief Financial Officer for a major company. She's almost ready to retire. Susan, she started having pain. So what did she do? She went to see her physician. She sought treatment. Her physician told her, There's nothing wrong with you. It must be in your head. Jamie, she was outdoors climbing the ladder. She fell off the ladder. She went to the ER. The ER told her, your blood pressure is off the chart. Your blood pressure's off the chart. Oh, and you broke your leg. Samantha, she has an autoimmune disorder. Made her feel so lonely. She was also in so much pain. What was she going to do when she was going to be home alone, when she retired? Nobody to talk to, because she loved being at the office. Well, Susan, she continued to seek answers. She went to physician after physician, having more tests done, still not getting any solutions. She was so frustrated. She's still taking care of her family. She's becoming tired. She's not sleeping well. Jamie, she has a broken leg and she's heartbroken. Now she has to be on medications. Her parents were on medications. People who are old go on medications is what she thought. I'm only in my 20s. What's going to happen? Her blood pressure was so high that the ER put her on 4 blood pressure medications just to control her blood pressure. Kept her there for hours, sent her home. Now Samantha, she was already taking 10 different medications. She had side effects from every one of them. She would call her physician and say, hey, I'm dizzy today. And guess what? Her physician would just give her another prescription that would take the dizziness away. But it didn't fix the problem. It just made things worse. These women, too many medications, too many side effects, and seeing too many providers. Each had their own specialty, but what happened is no one took the time to really listen to Susan, to Jamie, to Samantha, to hear their struggles, to hear their frustrations or their concerns, to hear what lit them up and made them passionate, their family, their job, the love of outdoors. The providers didn't seem to care. It was just another appointment, another prescription. And each time Susan went to a new physician, she had to be the one to carry everything with her. Yes, I truly believe you should be responsible for your own health. But physicians need to talk to one another. And they weren't doing that. Things weren't getting crossed back and forth. Tests were being run again. She didn't realize they were the same tests. She was having to do things over and over. Frustration, medical bills are piling up. Finally, somebody said, Susan, why don't you take this medication? It's going to help you feel better. Because she wasn't sleeping, she was worrying what's wrong with her. Nobody could come up with a diagnosis. Must be in your head, Susan. Jamie was so cotton-mouthed from one of the medications. She didn't know it was from one of the medications initially. She could barely do her job. She gave presentations all the time as an electrical engineer. Some of her medications she had to eat with. So she was constantly eating. She was gaining weight like crazy and couldn't figure out what's going on. She was ruled by the clock. She had to set an alarm to take her medications because she took them 5 times a day. Medications had to be separated. She couldn't think straight. She was drowsy from some medications. She was hungry she had to eat with some, so she was hungry on the ones that she ate with, and also there were some she couldn't eat with. So her schedule was all messed up. Now Samantha, her autoimmune condition, she started experiencing the worst constipation she'd ever had in her life. She also had dry mouth from her condition, And every medication was a new challenge. Was it going to make her current condition worse? Was it going to aggravate her constipation? Because with this autoimmune disorder came challenges. She was lonely. She's getting ready to retire. She was anxious. She was frustrated. She felt that the world was crumbling in, but she had her physicians to go to. And while that may have been good and great, they weren't quite listening to her. Taking the medications routinely became a challenge for all three of these women. The side effects, which they didn't even know what they were, some of them, but they became unbearable. When you can't talk, when you're having to drink all the time, liquid, and then, well, guess what? It runs right through you. So you're running to the restroom. And then all of a sudden you got to get up and give a presentation. You can't talk. You have to run away. What's her job was suffering? All these frustrations, side effects can come in a number of forms. Each year, 2.1 million prescriptions produce adverse drug reactions. So an adverse drug reaction is like a side effect. An adverse drug reaction is anything that's unexpected, unintended, undesired, or excessive in response to taking a medication or a supplement. That's right, we can have adverse drug reactions from supplements. Sometimes we don't even know that it's a side effect. We start something and it might happen right away. It might not change for 2 weeks or 2 months. And if your healthcare professional doesn't look back far enough, we're not going to know that it's a side effect. Just like when maybe you start a new laundry detergent, and then all of a sudden, you're kind of itchy a couple days later. You're like, what? What's that? What did I get into? Well, you don't think back. Oh yeah, I changed my laundry detergent, and now I'm reacting to it. So this is very similar to how medications and supplements. Sometimes we don't even know what's happening or when. But here's the other bad thing that can happen. Some side effects or adverse drug reactions can be caused and cause another disease state to appear. For example, some antidepressants can cause you to have high blood pressure. So if you didn't already have it to begin with, you could get it from taking an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety agent. Well, guess what? Susan was put on a medication to make her feel better. And all of a sudden, her blood pressure's climbing. You don't know what's going on. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agents like Advil, Aleve, ibuprofen, naproxen. Those are the non-prescription ones. There's prescription ones like Celebrex. Those can actually increase your blood pressure as well. So if you already have high blood pressure, take note, be careful. And those non-steroidals can also put you at greater risk of developing a blood clot. That's scary. Sometimes we want to just stop the medication because we're tired of it. We don't think it's working. Well, that may or may not be the right choice. Probably you better seek healthcare practitioner advice before just stopping anything. Because sometimes stopping a medication, especially like a blood pressure medication, can have detrimental effects. It can stop your heart. It might start again, but it might not. So be careful. Make sure you ask appropriate questions. Most medications need to be safely tapered off of. So let's go back to our gals. Susan, Jamie, Samantha. Each of these individuals found me, sought me out. I took time to listen. I took time to care. We got to the root cause of the problem. I worked with their physicians to come up with a customized plan. We came up with the plan. We worked with the physician because the physician still needed to prescribe different levels of medications. Because you can't cut a capsule in half. You can't do certain things. So their physicians, thankfully, were willing to have a pharmacist be on the team, be a good resource. We looked at reducing the number of medications. We looked at reducing side effects and getting rid of their frustrations. We did an extensive dive into the medical history. What medications are they taking? What supplements are they taking? Why are they taking them? What underlying conditions do they have? Are we treating those? Do they need to be treated? After analyzing their conditions and discovering the root cause of some of these problems, some of those side effects can be eliminated by changing a medication. Still treating the right thing, but there's a lot of medications out there. We can tweak it a little bit. Susan, guess what? She found out she had a rare condition. She finally, after some education and research I helped with, we were able to find out that it was a rare condition. And so that's why very, very, very few practitioners knew about it. And we were able to find a supplement regimen for her to take, a good quality supplement regimen. Now, Deb's heard me talk about this before, and some of you others as well. Quality supplementation is key. You can't just take something off the shelf in a big box store. You've got to make sure that your label, what's in the bottle meets the label. And you've got to vet out those companies. Do they follow good manufacturing processes? Are they consistent and careful with their sourcing? Are they doing testing? What's their safety look like? These are just a few of the things. These have to be vetted companies. I can help with that. Jamie, well, her leg healed up nicely, and we were able to reduce her medication burden down to just 2 medications for her high blood pressure. Yes, it still requires 2. We're working on it. We've worked with lifestyle medicine, looking at movement, looking at her nutrition, looking at ways to control her stress, because stress plays a huge role in how our health is determined. She's down to once a day, 2 medications, no timer necessary, no more cotton mouth, no more worried about weight gain, because these medications don't cause that. She still does need a little help though, and that's okay, because high blood pressure is the silent killer, and we want to protect her. Samantha, when she came to me, remember she had 10 medications. Well, now she's down to 4. That includes her medications and her supplements. She's taking ones that no longer worsen her autoimmune disorder. They have the least constipating effect. She's able to just use prune juice and flaxseed to help keep her regular. A lot of medications can cause constipation. A lot of medications can cause headaches, dizziness. So you've got to watch out for these. Once these ladies found the right regimen, their adverse effects lessened, their frustrations lessened, their pill burden lessened, and they started feeling human again. Now they're healthier, happier, and thriving. All because, I like to say, because they find me. Someone to walk alongside them on their health journey, to help them discover that root cause, to persevere right along with them. They didn't give up, and I didn't give up. What price do you put on your health? Are you experiencing frustrations with the healthcare system? We take care of our vehicles, We fuel them up. We change the oil. We wash them. We maintain them. Are we doing this to our bodies? Are we just going through the motions? We went in, we saw the physician, they gave us a prescription. Okay, we'll take it, or maybe we won't. Maybe it makes you feel better, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you feel a little bit uplifted, your mood's better, your pain's better, but now your stomach hurts all the time. Are you looking for alternative ways? Maybe something that's not mainstream, and you need somebody to help, to look at those alternatives, to find you something that fits in your lifestyle. What is your medical perseverance? Are you taking the right medication or supplement? So as Deb said earlier, I do have a free gift for all of you. 5 questions that you should ask your healthcare provider before starting a medication or a supplement, prescription, over-the-counter supplement, whatever it is, non-prescription. Why? Number 1, why? There's 5 different questions and some supplemental questions in there. So I encourage you to download the guide. It's going to be very beneficial for you. Are you concerned about the quality of your supplementation? Then maybe we should chat. Are you experiencing adverse drug reactions right now with what you're taking, medications or your supplements? I want you to ask, what happens if you do nothing right now? Are you prepared for the consequences?
All right. Well, we've had some wake up calls today, and I think that definitely falls in the category of wake up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think that, you know what, it can be difficult sometimes to be that eye opener for people, right? But what you talk about, a lot of times people keep it to themselves. They don't feel brave enough. We were just talking about bravery. They don't feel like they can, boundaries with your doctors. There you go. You and Shelby could have like a great conversation about boundaries with your doctors, right? And how to ask for what you need, and great examples. What a great way to present. Great examples of people that we probably have had something similar, or there's more than likely at least one person that we all know that got either a misdiagnosed or not diagnosed soon enough, or all of those things. And it is a frustrating experience. And so a lot of times people don't even realize that there's people like you that will do that medical journey with them. So thank you for being here just on that. Now, there was something that Melissa shared, and that is going to be the answer to her question of this incredible gift that she has, where she's really going to work with one of you, talk about all of your health needs, and then have this beautiful wellness gift package for you. And she kind of jolted me, and I saw a couple of people nod their heads. So I thought, okay, that's going to be the question, because obviously people know about that. But she talked about something that sometimes people just it's a medical condition that sometimes we're like, oh yeah, I've got that, or my, brother has that, and we don't realize how powerful it is. But she talked about a medical condition being a silent killer. And so if you remember what that is, put it in the chat with your email, and you will win her beautiful gift. And there you go. So Angel, what was your mic drop through Melissa sharing what she was sharing?
Well, it is so important for us to be advocates for our health. And I think that there was a generation before us, right, that the doctors were like the all-knowing, right? Like, they were the only one with the information. They were the only one, like they knew it all and had all of the expertise. But it is a practice, right? It's medical practice. And my own mom, right? And so I'm listening to you and just thinking about my own mom, right? She went into the hospital for a bloody nose that didn't stop, right? Like, it had been bleeding, like running for hours. And so they brought in an ear, nose, and throat person, and they gave her a medication, but then it impacted, I don't know, something else. And so they had like 3 different specialists that were all prescribing medications to her that were all causing new problems. And every time she had a new problem, a new medication was being prescribed to her. And they weren't like talking to each other. It seemed like, what was the effect if I give you this medication on the other medication you're already taking? And so as I'm listening to you, I'm like, you are not wrong. like this is not a fictitious scenario. This is not something that, you know, could possibly, like, this is happening, I think, every single day over and over again. And we probably have loved ones and people that we really care about that are overprescribed in medications. And I'm just like, who do you trust and where do you go? And, you know, we can't just all be, you know, we go to the internet and you guys, I don't know if you ever saw Sex in the City, but she's like, you go to the internet and you just wait until cancer like comes up on the screen, right? Like we want to be our own doctors and we go to the internet and try to be self-prescribing, but we need true advocates for health and living, right? Who want to help us live, who want to help us to allow our body to be the natural doctor that I think our bodies can be when given the right environment. And so it was just, yeah, I was just remembering this time with my mom in the hospital and going, yeah, we needed to be bigger advocates for her. And it wasn't until she had been there for 3 days that we finally said, okay, you stop, right? Like, this is enough and we need to take a stand. But thank you for empowering us to be able to be more on the front end of our you know, standing up for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you nailed it when you said that. Standing up for ourselves, being on the front end, listening to someone like Melissa gives you permission.
Yeah.
Listening to someone like Shelby gives you permission.
Yeah.
Being inspired and motivated today gives you permission. I remember when I started my aromatherapy home party company, and I had had it 17 years when I decided to convert it in 2011. So it was quite a while ago. And those of you in Canada, if you remember, you know, we all know, well, in Canada, we know CTV News, but Lloyd Robinson had asked that they came, I was doing an aromatherapy home party. They're like, can we bring the crew in? Like, can we bring the, you know, the crew and have you on the news doing an aromatherapy home party? They were like, what are you doing? This is for your health. And it was such a new concept. And so when I was having an interview with him, which is like, you know, one of those bucket list things, right? You're having an interview. He's like, okay, so aromatherapy. And I loved how, Melissa, you said lifestyle medicine. Love that. Love that. Hashtag that. Hashtag put it on a t-shirt, you know, do a book called Lifestyle Medicine. Call Angel. So, but I remembered when you say, he was like, so what is one of the most important things you want to tell people? And I go, don't be scared to ask for a second opinion. Okay, look, I don't know how old you guys are, but there was a time where I was scared out of my mind. It would be like I was being disrespectful to my doctor to ask for a second opinion, like he was going to find me and hunt me down and not be my doctor anymore and be mad at me, right? Children should be seen and not heard. I mean, you know, come on, this is the deal, right? So you go to a doctor and he tells you something and maybe you don't even know, but you need to go get a second opinion, but you don't, because you don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a generation that I came from. And so I said, just please feel like you have the permission, because the other side to that is that doctors also, we put, you know, they are gurued, but we guru them. I always feel like sometimes they don't feel like they can tell us they don't know. We don't want to hear they don't know. We don't want to go into the office and they're like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with you. They're not trained. That's not okay behavior. And so we have to let them off the hook, and we have to allow ourselves on the hook and understand that sometimes they don't know. And sometimes if they don't know, you know, you've all done it. You don't know the answer. Your kid asks you a question. You're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? You give an answer because you don't know. Right. But you don't feel like you have the allowance to. And I think it's a relationship that you have to build. And if you have to be an advocate, having someone share for you. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Round of applause. La la la. Hearts, kisses, butterflies.